Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando Live. It's 8:40 p.m. on the dot, July 24th. Thank you so much for being live with us. A win for Orlando City, definitely a win. I call it a Russian roulette because that's what it is. Penalty shootouts are Russian roulettes. You never know what's going to happen. The undeserved, the team that doesn't deserve to win may win. The team that deserves to win may do justice and win. The good thing about it is that Orlando had a perfect penalty shootout with a phenomenal save by Pedro Galese, and no one missed a penalty kick. So Orlando gets 2 points, and it's on the top of the table for the League's Cup. And next, we face Mexican powerhouse Santos Laguna. We're going to be talking about that. And is Orlando all in on the League's Cup? That's a big question because of the lineup, I would say they are. And after talking to some of the players, I feel like they have a feeling that they could win this cup. So another piece of silverware for Orlando City. So John's with me. I want to say hello to Paola. Hope everything goes well with her. I know she'll be back next week. And I do want to announce great news for the Orlando City community. Facundo Torres, our El Cuervo, right? He's a new dad, so congratulations to Facundo and his wife for a baby girl. Her name is Juana Torres Peon. So I want to congratulate Facundo for the good news. It's going to change your life, my friend. I'm telling you right now. Te va a cambiar la vida, hermano. Si estás viendo, it's going to change your life. So welcome, Juana Torres Peon, and a future, I don't know, maybe future Pride player at some point, maybe definitely an Orlando City fan, because of that. So excited for that, and we just want to congratulate. And also we saw the debut of Juninho with the first team at Leagues Cup. So John's with me. John, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, buddy. Yeah, I mean, kicked off the Leagues Cup, got a kind of a win. Can you call that a win? I don't really know what you call.
I call it a win. I call it a
win on penalties because they make you do penalties. Yeah, so we should have won regardless, but I feel like we should have had 3 points, not 2 points. That's the only bummer. And I will say this: it felt very cuppy, at the stadium. It felt very much like a cup game day, just all around. So that was interesting to see. It was our first experience of this, right? We'd never seen it before.
First time in Leagues Cup.
I'm interested to hear from you what it was like different from the press perspective. Like, I obviously got it from the fan perspective and what they did differently from an MLS game, but I was wondering from your perspective, back of house, whether it was different people, obviously, right? Like, what's the difference?
Well, it was pretty much the same Orlando City Communications. I want to say hello to Lucas, to everybody there, to Jackie. They were running things, but there was someone from Leagues Cup supervising. They had their own press conference person, right? But I second you when you say there was a cup game. It is like a mimic of the U.S. Open.
I mean, obviously it's a cup game because it's a cup game. But when we say that, what we mean is the feeling in the stadium,
right?
Like the low attendance, it was quite lethargic. It didn't.
14,000
seem like everyone was really that into it.
Yeah, 14,000 for a Sunday, and also a lot. I mean, there hasn't been. There's three things I think it's wrong. First, there's people that are not going to watch the Leagues Cup because they want to watch the U.S. women national team. They're playing against. They were playing against Vietnam. Also, people are going to watch Messi. They do the same times. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, they screwed us on that. I think they intentionally screwed us.
like it was all three games at the same times. I had my laptop with one tab. It was the U.S. women's. Another tab was Messi, just because I wanted to see what happened. And then in front, I had the stadium. So imagine if I was doing that, I guarantee you, people that like Messi were doing the same thing. So I just think the Leagues Cup didn't take advantage of really pushing through what Leagues Cup means. I felt like they just put it on their website, expecting for people to go and find out, oh, this is what Leagues Cup is. Oh, no, it doesn't work that way. So people thought, hey, it's a Friday night. Orlando's going to beat Houston. Come on, Houston, it's terrible, right? And I think that's probably what happened. It did feel like a U.S. Open Cup. They had each coach kind of like U.S. Open Cup, the same. They speak first, and then after that you go to the mix zone, they call it, right? It's right. So the players are walking out of the locker room, and you gotta catch them. Hey, let me get.
Yeah, yeah.
The good thing about communications is they got the players so for you in a way. Like they'll say, hey, you want to talk to him? You want to talk to him? Some players just go through, and you could talk to either both the Houston players and to Orlando City players. So I mean, it was very organized. It was seamless because all the communications people from Orlando, they've used to the U.S. Open Cup, so it looked pretty much identical. To be honest with you, but again, um, they're not running it per se. The club's not running it technically, right? So, but I just think they got to do more advertising. I mean, it's really, really not being really advertised very well.
I don't know. I feel like the lead up, maybe I think, okay, here's the thing. Because we are in the soccer, sales bubble that already exists in Orlando, right? We're popping up on all of the hits for this person likes soccer, so send ads at them. So I think for that reason, I've seen a lot of Leagues Cup ads, but maybe they're not reaching people who aren't already into soccer. You know what I mean? Or I think a lot of average Orlando City fans don't know what it is. And then they're just sort of like, well, if it's not an MLS game, why am I going? Like the similar way they look at the Open Cup, right? They just kind of don't really understand what this tournament is, or aren't that motivated to go watch something that they know what MLS is. They understand that that's a league that they follow. But when it's a new thing like this, unless you're really into it and you're someone who's following and you're a dedicated soccer fan and you understand what's happening, your average fan is just like, what is the Leagues Cup? They don't know.
And not only that, they don't do, like I said, the leagues have not do any service to them. They just put it on their website and expect everything. They should. And also, I guarantee you, if Messi would have been in Houston, we would have had all media in there, right? But they weren't. Fox, I guarantee you, Wash, I guarantee you, everyone was in Miami, right? With the Kardashians, with LeBron James, with Elton John. Kiss was needed too there at some point. But, I feel like, you know, uh, when they have in Fox 35, for example, when they do the little sports break, whatever, they could easily say, hey, by the way, guys, Leagues Cup this Friday. You know what the Leagues Cup is? All right, blah, blah, blah. Like, takes not even 5 minutes, right? But, the casual fan that it's not really very informed like we are, that maybe wants to see it. Now they don't, they had zero exposure, in my opinion. So I think that's one of the things. I think U.S. Open Cup have more exposure, than the Leagues Cup, in my opinion.
Well, and John Garver doesn't even like the U.S. Open Cup. I feel like the U.S. Open Cup gets disrespected a lot. For the oldest soccer tournament, it's still running in this country. I think it's looked at as like sort of a, you know, lesser tournament, and I think that's a shame. I think it gives the smaller teams a chance, so I think it should be respected. And the League's Cup, in some ways, seems like the league is pushing this to try and overtake the Open Cup and maybe even get rid of the Open Cup in the future. I don't know, but
No, it doesn't. I think it'll
it's a
be
political
disastrous.
landscape that they have to figure out between MLS and U.S. soccer and all this other stuff. But Leagues Cup seems to be the thing that the MLS is really putting their chips into. Right, they're pushing it hard, but
I have an
I'm not
idea.
impressed,
I
Luis.
have
I'm
an
not
idea.
impressed.
I have an idea to make it better. I don't know, but you should copy and paste South America. So, for example, in South America, you have Copa Libertadores. The top, the top 3 or 4 teams, they go to Copa Libertadores. The fourth one does a playoff to get into Copa Libertadores. They play against fourth places. Do a playoff. But then there's a second cup called Copa Sudamericana, which is from 4 all the way down to 8 or 7 sometimes in some countries. They play that tournament. What can you make if you have Conca champions, and those are your the best of the best of your region? Have add the Costa Rican teams and the Guatemalan teams and the Haitian teams that are maybe not in the top 4 in your league. Add them into League's Cup and just do the League's Cup that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's
like like
why
like
not
World Cup
invite
format,
the
like
Canadian
World
teams,
Cup format.
right? That
Yeah,
aren't in MLS,
yeah. I
or
think
I
they'll
don't
make it.
know.
I mean, it'll make it worth more. It'll make it worth something more than just bragging rights for MX or MLS. You know what I
I
mean?
think if it wasn't for the 3 Champions League places, I think a lot of the MLS teams would be disinterested.
Correct.
I think
Yep.
that's the main reason they're into it, is because they see it as another trophy that everybody wants one of those, but B, as a way into the Champions League with those 3 spots. It's easier than anything else to get into the Champions League, right?
And Orlando has
Unless you're going to go on an Open Cup run, it's easier than getting into MLS. It arguably is the easiest way in.
a huge opportunity. I mean, I've talked to all the players. They look locked in, dude. They're like, we know how to play small tournaments. This is not strange for us. We're gonna give it all. Yeah, we want to win. Like all of them, Facundo, Pedro, like they look locked in. Ivan, everyone is like locked in. So, let's read some comments here. JC Beast, I like CONMEBOL format, but I think it works so well because we have a smaller group of countries to pick from. Yes, JC, but that's what I say that, obviously, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right, 100%. How can the islands bring their people, right? They should play their own tournament, and then top 2 maybe make it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Well, I think things are going to change, like you were talking about, with potentially Copa Libertadores and the Leagues Cup being a way into that, or I don't know, they're potentially inviting MLS and
I don't know how they're
MX
gonna do.
play teams.
I
It
have no
seems
idea how
the
they're gonna make it work.
whole landscape of what is the tournament.
Yeah,
So
how
because the
how
Champions
how
League is changing, they're going to a new format. Everything is changing.
really
Yeah, I mean, they're going to end
how
up
how
doing
are they
the league system.
how are they gonna make it work? That's what I understand. I mean, who's gonna go to Libertadores? Who's gonna be invited? Are you gonna put your best teams there? Because if you don't put your best teams there, you're gonna give CONMEBOL the tools to say, haha, you suck. You're not good enough. That's why you always be lesser than we are, right?
I
And
mean,
then you know what I
who
mean.
knows?
So and then how are you gonna sell your 2 tournaments, Leagues Cup and Conca Champions? How are you gonna freaking do it if they're gonna play the B teams? So it gives they gotta get it together, in my opinion. They gotta get it
Well,
together
I
soon.
think I think before you always had Champions League was the intercontinental competitions, right? You're
Right.
always within your nation, or I guess in MLS is slightly different, but you're usually in your nation for your cups and your leagues, and then Champions League and Leagues Cup has come along and said you don't have to qualify for anything to play international football. We're going to have international soccer. We're going to have that Leagues Cup where everybody's invited, and so that just thrown like this massive spanner in the works. And now to play intercontinental soccer, you just have a team. You don't even have to qualify. So some of these MLS teams that are, maybe a long way away from seeing Champions League, this is their only chance now to play like a Mexican team that they would have
And
had. Like Charlotte, for
and this is
example, not anytime soon would you see them qualifying, right? But now they get to play a Mexican team.
correct. So I want to say, um, the MLS sees the MLS Next Pro as their second division. Before MLS Next Pro, it was always USL. Now that relationship is broken, I feel strongly that they need to come and make amends, because if you're gonna start making, like, you know what I mean, like, how are these, because there's tournaments in several countries that they're they want to have the format of the US Open Cup. Like Peru is about to do one, just like the US Open Cup. Second division teams against first division teams. The winner gets a spot in Copa Sudamericana, right? So if they're gonna do that, like, how are you gonna do, like, Houston, like, who OCB against Orlando City? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? Right, it doesn't make any sense. So I feel like they should rekindle the relationship with the USL and just have them be the second division, because they're gonna try promotion relegation either way in 2024. I don't know if you heard about that. So, and have MLS Next Pro have their own league, and they could play like under 20s or under 23 CONCACAF, like a Champions League for the age, right, against other teams.
Yeah, there should be
And
an MLS Next Pro Leagues Cup. And what do they have in
correct.
Liga MX? They have U23 teams. I don't know what their youth system looks like. If you're like Tigres, you have a U23 and a U18
Yeah,
team, or do
you
you
have
have a
a
B
you
you
have
have a B team?
you have a U20, and then you have your reserves,
Do you have a
which is
reserve
kind of like
team?
a,
Yeah.
yeah, which
So
is
they're,
kind of like U23.
the MX's reserve teams played that would be cool. I'd love to see something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should
So
talk
anyway,
about the game, or else we'll talk
so
about
yeah, yeah,
how to change this whole situation all day
yeah.
long.
Jim D says that was an officiating performance that would make Ted Uncle proud. VAR, we don't need those stinking VAR. Talking about that, John had a fantastic tweet that he just sent. From, I want to give props to MLS Now. Read this. Interesting nugget of information we found. Leagues Cup is being used as an experience builder for referees. Most referees in Leagues Cup have more appearances as fourth officials than as center refs. Bwah, bwah,
Uh,
bwah, bwah, bwah,
the funny
bwah.
thing about that is the fourth official, right? Is that the VAR or is that different? Or fourth official, we're just saying is the guy on the field, not the
Right.
VAR. But regardless, they've probably done VAR if they've been a fourth official several times. So wouldn't that mean that they then would know to go to VAR in the
Ex-
scenario that
ex-
Jim D's referring to?
e- exactly.
Either
So
way, it's
either
not good.
either
Why are they
e- e-
using this as an opportunity to guinea pig referees with a brand new tournament? That just seems stupid.
yeah, and it undermines the whole point of competition and the point of making the tournament a strong tournament. You see what I'm saying? So, um, they should not be doing this. And then obviously the people were like, "Oh, that makes so much that makes so much sense because they were awful." Oh, that makes complete sense. Dear God, we're in for a wild ride. You know, it's true.
I think
That's crazy.
there are some other bad calls in other games for sure. I mean, I saw a couple in the Inter Miami Cruz Azul game that were pretty bad calls. I think our one that Jim's talking about was just, I mean,
No, that penalty was not a penalty. Like I'm telling you,
I don't understand why you don't go look at that. Okay, in the moment he was on the other side of the player. The guy made the trip movement. Okay, in the moment the ref's like, fine, that's a penalty. But when everybody tells you to look at it, even I'm pretty sure the linesman came over and was like, yeah, you should look at it. Why then, Luis, does he not use that option? Like, what is the point in having that if we don't actually use it? I don't understand why have VAR if in that scenario he doesn't make the option to say, yeah, I'm going to go look at this. And the way he sort of fake trips himself, I don't know if you see that, but he does like a little, like a after the just when you watch it in slow mo, it's so obvious. That's why you have VAR.
Did you see the ref getting in the way of a bunch of plays too? It's like, dude, like, do you want to play? Do you want you want Araujo to pass you the ball, man? Like, you want to feel froggy and just go for it? It was insane. And then the worst part, and that really upset me. That's why I never really tweet a lot of stuff, but it really bothered me. They pick men of the match. And for the Cruz Azul game, they give the man of the match to Lionel Messi, right? Muchacho. He made a fantastic free kick that Beckham was like crying, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm rich.
Someone
I'm
put a
rich."
comment on the Facebook page saying that they would have named him man of the match even if he didn't come off the bench, which I thought
That's
was
right,
100% true.
right. So you got Beckham crying. You got Kim Kardashian crying. LeBron, he was like crying Jordan, like just going down. And okay, Messi, man of the match. Okay, give it to him. That's fine. But come on, how can you give the guy who flopped and took the penalty from Houston
He
the
took a
man of
good
the match?
penalty. I'll give him that. It was a nice
Yeah, but
penalty,
oh,
but
come on.
nah. I
After
mean,
that goal,
where's Pedro for the save?
or
Surely
Duncan.
is or Duncan. I mean, an Orlando City player. Like if we look at the stats, Luis, which we're all over them. It should have been. We
Yeah, it
weren't
should
very
have been.
clinical, and we should have been a bit more clinical, and we should have won that game before we even got to penalties.
Yeah, we should have
They
never gone.
were.
Yeah, we should have never gone to penalties. I mean, this, and we said it on in the preview. This game should have never gone to penalty kicks. I mean, this is a team that was completely beatable, and not only that. And I'm gonna say, Houston people, I know you guys are gonna hate me, but your investment completely sucks, my friends. Your most expensive guy, a cold-chested person, man, completely froze on the penalty, and Galeza got a huge save. But bro, how can you miss a penalty? You're supposed to be like this guy who played in Porto, who has like
He's
this,
the captain, man.
right? You're supposed to have the big balls of fire, man. And
I think Hector is very
he
overrated
was
for this league.
completely
I think he
dead,
is.
completely dead. But yeah, look at the number of shots. Like Orlando shot the ball in this game. 16-7 possession. Orlando won more, like double number of passes. And this is the thing that we need to really take care. We still having the same issues, John, with overpassing in the box.
Yeah.
A lack of finishing.
Uh, did you think? I thought Ojeda was playing more at the 10 in this one than Torres. How did you see it?
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think Ojeda was not, even though we were playing a lot of passes, I don't think he was linking the midfield to the attack particularly well. I think usually I would never say this, Luis, but I think Mauricio would have been better in that role in that
Yeah,
day because I think Ojeda just, as much as I like him being on the field, I don't think he was connecting things in that number 10 like we need him to if he's going to play there. which is a problem. And I think that you know, Mauricio would have been really tired, so it's good that we rested him. But the problem is not that Mauricio is tired. The problem is we don't have a 10 to step in there, right? So Ojeda is kind of being used, but I've not seen a game from him at the 10 where I've been like, yes, you're 100% can play that position. I think it's still a case of really he's better on the right wing, cutting in on his left foot. But that's where Facu wants to be, so Facu gets to be there because he plays more, you know. I mean,
So
how do you see it with those two in that situation?
so I believe that both Facundo and Martin was switching places a bunch of times throughout the game in transition.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do that.
the right back for Houston was they really knew how to Dorsey. Dorsey and Caicedo had a stronghold on Ivan Angulo, but that's why you see Facundo cutting in and Ojeda like switching places. Now, one thing that I will say about this game that I truly, really felt that it really helped Orlando City's case was that Oscar made the right substitutes. Like, talk about Dagger Dan. I know it's going to be a moment of fanboy moment for John, but Kyle Smith, I think physically he's he needs a little bit of a break. I think he's been starting in the past few games. I mean, there's nothing to knock them down. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. He's proven, and he deserves a spot to be the starter for sure. But I think Dagger was one of the players that truly like made the back four way more solid for the game to go to PKs. And every time Robin and Antonio have a great game, we win. And that's, I think, what happened also here. And, talk about Duncan McGuire. The high press of Orlando City, not giving away 1 inch. And then, the complete botch from Tarbell. Talk about Tarbell. He needs some just for men, just like me. I mean, for his hair. I'm telling you, Tarbell, dye your hair, my friend. And I mean, Duncan just completely took that ball away, man. And it's just like so poised, man. It's like so easy for him. Like he was just so cool, like so calm. Like, yeah, I just scored, you know what I mean? And I like that about Duncan, his confidence. So, and local news made I think it was local news, so the news from local news did a piece on him.
Creighton local news.
Creighton, Creighton, Ohio local news did a piece of him. So I mean, he's definitely having the season. So that was my overview for Orlando. I think Orlando should have won the game in the 90.
It was a
not in
fairly
penalties.
boring game, Luis. Let's be honest. It wasn't the most exciting game of soccer we've ever seen until the penalty shootout, and then it was like, oh yeah, we're awesome at these. We've never lost a penalty shootout. That's eight in a row that we have won. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if Oscar trains penalties all the time or we're just really good at. I mean, we had 2 center backs and a left back taking penalties, and they just look so calm and cool and collected. So I think it's awesome that whenever we get to that point, I'm not worried. I'm like, yeah, we're going to make it. The only time we ever got close not to making it was at the MLS playoffs when we got called back for the Schlegel incident. And even then we still won it anyway. So
correct.
Thumbs up to the boys for the penalty shoots. And also go back. My boy Dagger Dan, he had a hell of a game. He was awesome. And I got to meet him. You posted that on the Instagram.
Yeah, no, actually, let's put it on. Actually, let's put it on right here.
Moment. I didn't know what to do. I was very nervous. I was not nowhere near as nervous to meet. Like I've met like Kaká many times, and many other players lots of times, but
there you go. You're like waiting for your moment.
I went all red. I was like, when you left Dagger. I had to make sure he knew. I had to make sure he knew it was me because I was like, the guy who got your name on the jersey, your weirdo, number one stalker fan. This
I thought
guy,
you wanted him to sign your
he
back or
signed my
something.
jersey. He did. He signed the back of my
Oh,
jersey.
you
So
signed the back.
I
Oh,
got him to sign his number. So I've got Dagger Dan signed jersey now. So he was really nice. His family was really nice, and it was a really cool moment. And I asked him, Luis. I asked him straight up. I said, "What position do you want to play?" And he
he's
said
got
he
back.
liked back when he was in Iceland. They played a 4-3-3, and he played one of the center midfielders, like box to box in the 4-3-3. And he said that's what he wants to do. And I said, cool. So I had to
Well,
know.
right now, Oscar, he is the ace of spades for Orlando City in that position
I mean, he just seems happy to
right back.
play wherever
Yeah,
Oscar. Like he was like, I'll just play wherever I get to play. And I was like, all right. I mean, that's great attitude, man.
yeah. So let's read some comments real quick. If we have a bunch of comments here, JCB's 95. How Peru has a Reserva Cup and the sub 20. Exactly. Completely agree.
Or
Mitchell
in
McAllister.
Europe, they have the Europa League, right? Same thing.
Right. And now the Conference League. Come on, man. I mean, right? Isn't the fourth official that one that stands on the sideline and holds a substitution board? That's right. Kaimani Miller. So the wannabe premier tournament for the region is used as development for the refs. Absolute joke. You're completely right, sir. You are right. And I hope they don't use these refs. And again, I'm going to say it for the 30th million time. I don't want to see him in the World Cup, man. I don't want to see a pro logo on the. I do not want to see that. That would be a disgrace.
I'm very happy if this part of the world is not represented in the refereeing for the World Cup.
Yeah, same here. That wasn't even a foul on Messi, says Mitchell.
And
Mitchell
it was
McAllister.
2 minutes after the game should have ended.
That's right. And oh man,
It's
but it
Messi
was.
time. Remember when Ferguson was manager of Man United and everyone was like, oh, it's Fergie time when they'd add like 10 minutes on at the end of every game? This is like Messi time now. So it's like if Messi's on the field, we'll give you another 5 minutes because he might get a goal.
But when it comes to, I mean, that was an amazing free kick, though. You have to give it to the guy.
Yeah, but the keeper, I mean, come on. He know where he's going. I don't know. The foul wasn't a foul. It was in extra time. The keeper.
Do you see Beckham's face?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. He's like it's like his eyes is like my investment is blossoming. Like we'll see him in Orlando.
They got their fairy tale Messi goal in his debut.
We gotta be ready to play with 9 men against Inter Miami the next game. Guys, if Profe Oscar is listening, any of the guys, you guys gotta be ready to play with 9 men because they're gonna provoke you guys. And I know people are human. There's gonna be some terrible calls for Orlando against Miami. It took 97 minutes for FC Cincinnati to beat a 10-man Sporting Kansas City team, and they only did that so after being gifted a penalty at the end to send it to PKs. There you go. The officiating has been laughable, says Mitchell. Joshua can you talk about that rumor that Orlando City is interested in the right back Brian Reynolds? Deadpool? Oh, that's great. I'm just kidding.
Doesn't he own Wrexham? I thought he owned Wrexham.
You're right. He wants to play.
Is that a conflict of interest?
Chelsea just like destroy Wrexham?
Brian Reynolds, man. I think that would be an awesome signing. Like you were talking about Kyle getting tired, and I think Mikey should be back soon. So I don't see us particularly weak at right back, but Brian Reynolds would be an upgrade on any right back we have. So imagine that with Brian Reynolds, Jansen, Carlos, and Santos all playing well and on form. That's a dangerous.
And then Reynolds Renaissance. And you know how Oscar can boost.
Yeah, I mean he's got the Oscar connection, right? He was there when Oscar was running the academy at FC Dallas. He's in that Weston McKennie's class of Dallas Academy. So I would definitely take him. I don't see why not. It just depends how much we have to pay out because I think Roma probably want to get something for him. I think they see
Yeah.
him as still valuable in some way, right? Like he's not a throwaway player for them. They're going to still want something. And then the question is like how much money and everything else in international slots, but I would like it.
Yeah, I mean he's American, so I don't know if that, you know what I mean.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
not
yeah.
international
So
slots.
yeah, so
I mean roster slots overall because we just added junior. We're max now, so
yeah,
you got to send someone down to OCB, which we can do, right? We have certain players on the roster who are really just OCB players who aren't even playing for us at all. So we can make room.
I agree. And there's an immediate need for that, and we need to recuperate Kyle because Kyle, when he comes off the bench, he's that change of pace. Like he gives the back line like, oh, okay, Kyle's here. Okay, so we're gonna stop this winger down now, right? So with him starting so many games, we're in the thread, man. It's like a car. It's like, you know what I mean. That you're gonna have some games that it's not the same speed. You know what I mean?
And we don't really need to worry too much about regulations anyway, because you can just sign whoever you want, Luis. It doesn't matter, right? You don't have
We
to
can sign
stick to
Iniesta,
you don't have to stick to rules or try and do it legally.
Luis
Just do what you want,
Suarez,
and then
Luis
the league
Suarez.
forgives you after, and then you can just do it again 2 years later. They're
Yeah,
still dealing with the Matuidi issue.
and
So
they
the
don't.
last time they did this, they're still dealing with that, and there's been certain articles that say this is how they afford it and gamut, but
Get rid of that.
it
I
all
mean,
seems a bit shady, Luis.
look, if you want to just completely elevate it, get rid of all of that, make it like Europe, change your schedule, right? Change your schedule and make it just like Europe and South America. You know what I
I,
mean?
I mean, I think that's what they will do, but they've probably told Miami and let them have a good head start at it, and then they're going to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we changed the rules. But we didn't tell
Yeah,
it. We
and
only told one team."
I honestly thought that when MLS Communications sent that email saying, "Hey, big announcement by the Dawn," I thought, "Oh crap, they're gonna loosen the restrictions," and it was Columbus being selected for the MLS All Star. You know what I mean? But it's gonna happen at some point. I guarantee you, next year it's gonna they're gonna announce some stuff for next year because it's not gonna be the same next year. I guarantee you.
Nah, it has to change.
But anyways, a good game for Orlando City. Let's look at this at the standings real quick, and then we're gonna look at the bracket. Um, right here, official Leagues Cup. Right here. No, I had it just now. The Leagues Cup standings. There you go. Right there. Orlando City is first, right there, with 2 points. Woohoo! Against Houston. Houston has 1 point, and then Santos Laguna 0. Tomorrow is a massive game because we kind of, in a way, start knowing how is this Leagues Cup going to be playing out for Orlando City. Orlando has to win at home. They play Santos on Saturday at Explorer Stadium. So I have a feeling that we're going to be facing Miami, and I want that. I really do. And I guarantee you this Santos game is going to be more packed than Houston because it is Santos Laguna. There's probably going to a Mexican community here. They're probably going to, but
All the Mexican fans that don't come to the Orlando City games will be coming to see
or the ones that
Santos
just
compete.
want Santos to win just because they're from
Yeah,
Mexico.
I mean it'll be like the Tigres game. You'll have a whole supporter section, and they'll be everywhere around the stadium. It's gonna be a fair few. Miguel Gallardo included.
Yeah,
He's a
that's his team right
Santos
there.
Lagunas. That's his boys. So yeah, it'd be interesting, Luis, to see how much more attendance because it's the Saturday game we get versus the Houston game, which wasn't really well attended. I think you are right. I do think there's a high chance that we see Inter Miami. So tomorrow, Inter Miami play Atlanta. So everyone's got to tune in and watch that, because if Inter Miami beat Atlanta, they're basically guaranteed to win the group. I'm pretty sure then Cruz is it's impossible for them not to win the group. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, they.
So I think they do win the group if they beat Atlanta, and then if we go ahead and beat Santos Laguna, then we'll also
Yeah.
win the group, and then we'll be playing each other. So it depends. I'm with. I think the sooner we play this team that is being formed, and the sooner we beat this team that's being formed, the sooner people can stop worrying about all the old men that they're signing.
People
Luis,
don't people, people.
I'm not breaking a sweat, bro. They can sign all these OAPs they want. They all like 35 and older. They're building a team that has to win in the next year or so. And by the way, have all these guys fit. I mean, they just signed Iniesta. The guy doesn't even have any hair. He's bald.
They signed Iniesta
Like,
for real?
they basically are signing Iniesta. That's pretty much
No
done.
way, man. Iniesta.
They're just going to keep adding all these old men till the entire team is Barca 2015. But it's not 2015 anymore, Luis. So I'm fine with that. Keep adding all these, tired legs to your squad and see how many games they can run in the Miami Heat. I think this is one of those things where it's a lot of, ooh, this player and that player, but in reality, I don't know how good this team's actually going to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this real quick. I mean, no one discredits what they're worth in the soccer world. I mean, I remember one of the most World Cup,
for sure.
one of the best World Cup wins in history, in my opinion, was the Spain 2010, because of what it meant, especially to me, having family in Spain, and it just was a really nice moment. That Iniesta goal, I mean, it was fantastic. So I love Iniesta. The thing is, Iniesta retired literally from Vissel Kobe in Japan a few months ago. He's 39 years old. What I'm saying is, this new moniker that Inter Miami has, called Dare to Dream. All I'm saying is this, with all due respect, everyone's dare to dream. That's right. But the moves they're making, they're anti-MLS. They're anti-growth. You cannot have Calendar as your keeper, right? And then why don't you sign Keylor Navas while you are it too? You know what I mean?
I think Buffon's going to come out of retirement,
right?
and,
Is anti
go
is
play for them.
anti is oh man, it's anti-growth. I mean, it's and people in my other podcasts and in South America, they tell me, colleagues, bro, they're gonna beat your butt. Orlando doesn't know they're coming, dude. They don't understand. They have not felt the heat of Florida, dude. Like, they think it's gonna be child's play. It's not gonna be child's play. It's gonna be. I mean, I hope they make as much money as they can with sales and all that stuff. But I mean, this team, it's not. When they face Philly, when they face Orlando, when they face St. Louis, you know what I mean? It's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for them.
I mean, I think that these guys, it's one of those things where Beckham is signing players like when he was still in the league. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's thinking, if I'm the GM, right, or I'm the owner, and I'm going to run it like how I was back in LA Galaxy, where we're going to sign a bunch of older players, and then that's how you win the league. It's like, no, everybody has moved on from that. You're the only team still signing an entire squad of older players and thinking that's going to work. And yes, the skill level, of course, these guys, the quality of their touch on the ball and all that stuff, that doesn't go down. Of course, their intelligence, the mental side of the game, all of that is incredible assets. But the physicality, for most of these players is not there anymore, Luis, and I don't see how they're going to be able to keep up with some of the pace and some of the youth that's in it. Like Duncan McGuire running it, some of these players
In,
is going to cause problems. Like, and the people are joking about like, oh, I can't wait to watch Kyle Smith pocket Messi. This kind of thing could happen. I'm not ruling it out. Like, Cesar could have a killer game against one of these guys and, make Busquets look stupid because he's just younger and more athletic than him. I think there's a lot of scope for these players to not be as good as they were. And I think a lot of people see the names and they go, oh, they're going to be incredible because they signed all these star players. But the star players aren't as young as they used to be. And that's the point here.
It's I keep saying it's anti-MLS. Now there's rumors about
it makes us look like a retirement league because they're signing all these guys to come retire in Miami, like the retirement capital of the world.
And don't get me wrong, I don't know if you're noticing what Saudi Arabia is doing.
Yeah, I mean they're signing some older players, but they're going after younger players. In a lot of these cases, they're going after guys like 27, 28.
They're paying
not
prime,
34, 35, 36.
They're paying prime money for 26, 27-year-olds. Now, I would have understood if Inter gets Messi and surround them by 27-year-olds and 26-year-olds. That would have been more conscious than doing this. You know what I mean? That shows a lack of vision. And not only that, PSG is evaluating accepting a bid offer by Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia for Kylian Mbappe for 300 million euros.
I can see it happening, man. That's the thing with
PSG. Kylian Mbappe is going to Saudi Arabia, and you have all these 2017 Barca with Tata Martino going to the MLS, like that and the World Cup, and that's what I'm saying. I understand like soccer is not the first sport in the United States. It's never going to be as big as the NFL, but this is doing us no service. It makes us look like we don't know what we're doing in front of the rest of the world.
It doesn't help. I mean, like that's the thing. I think a lot of people from the outside will say, "Oh, Orlando is just salty. You're just like you're hating."
No, we're not salty.
But if this was any team in the league doing this, I would be like, no to that because that is the past, and Orlando City is about the future. The way that we're doing it, the way we're building a squad, developing players, like we're getting
Nashville too,
right?
Philly.
People, there's talk of Facundo Torres getting sold for 30 million. That's the kind of stuff that we want to be happening. Not that we want Facu to go, but that's stock up for the club. Signing a guy who's 35 years old, who's going to cost you a lot of money. Like Messi's making the money, but Busquets, for example, you're not getting anything out of Busquets. He's just coming in. You're paying him a decent amount of money to retire, essentially. Our whole model is developing young players to be sold, to add value so we can continue to grow, not the old way, which is the Miami way. But we can talk about this all day long, Luis.
So correct. So we're facing Santos Laguna, which comes from losing a friendly game against Sporting Gijón from Spain, from La Liga, and
they're in the Apertura now. So why are they still playing friendlies? I was a bit confused about that. Because they haven't started, right?
No, they haven't started yet. They're in preseason.
They're still in preseason.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So
I thought they'd started the Apertura. No, they played 3 games. They played 3 games, Luis.
Yeah, they played 3 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
They play against Atlas also, I believe.
They drew to Atlas. They beat Puebla, and they lost to Querétaro.
Mm-hmm.
So, Querétaro. I can't say that one.
Querétaro. I
Oh,
thought they.
Querétaro. I've heard that name. I've never seen it written down. Querétaro.
Yeah. So right now, I would say this is obviously another A squad for Santos Laguna, and they're giving a lot of their bench. They're trying to get depth. You know what I mean? So a lot of the players that you see in this lineup, they are from the B team. So the only one that I could say that it's very relevant and that he is there's going to be a Peruvian face off between in the same position pretty much between Pedro Aquino, which is a defensive midfielder from the Peruvian national team, against Willer Cartagena. So and also Galese, right? He didn't want to answer if he had to face him. They're friends, but I mean, it's going to be a tougher competition than Houston for sure. I mean, you don't want to count out a Mexican team, and they could play a 4-4-2. They also play a 4-2-3-1. This is the lineup that they play against Atlas, right?
I
So
can see the 4-2-3-1. I think
I agree.
that's their most likely. I mean, I don't know enough about these players, Luis, to honestly tell you much about them. I know this sounds bad, but I I'm not super versed in Santos Laguna. I know a little bit about some top Mexican teams, and this is not one of them, and they haven't really been one of them in the last few seasons, right? Historically, they're a what are they called? They're like a big team there, right?
Yeah, they're like a half table, like maybe top five, top six.
But they have history like being a big team,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I will have to see what they bring. Uh, I don't. I don't expect a really big challenge. I think it'll be harder than Houston, but I don't think it's going to be as hard as like the Tigres games in the Champions League, if that makes sense. I think it's sort of like playing a, a mid-table East MLS side, right? Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of the big teams that we need to keep an eye out for, or players to keep an eye out of Santos, I would say is obviously I said it, Pedro Aquino is being one of them because he knows how Cartagena plays. So I would recommend maybe that game Cartagena may come off of the bench. That would be a good idea. Uh, Santiago Munoz, he's a striker, center forward. He decided to play for Mexico. 20 years old, right? He played for he played for the Newcastle under 21. So
Oh,
he
I
now
know
plays.
him. I know
Yeah,
him.
yeah. So Santiago Munoz, he's one of the new side. Well, 20 years old. He was loaned to Santos. Then the team is full of Colombians. You have Duan Vergara, and they all play in Mexico. Duan Vergara, which is their left wing, he's from Mexico. He's from Colombia, 26 years old. Play Monterrey. Harold Preciado, another striker, 29 years old. So it's a better team than Houston. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
better than Houston, but not as good as Tigres, right?
right, and then the keeper, right? That they said that a lot of people say that he should be the keeper for the Mexico national team, Carlos Acevedo. Maybe when Ochoa retires, he's gonna take over. He's worth 5 million euros, and he's 27 years old. So it's gonna be a face-off of goalkeepers as well, between Galese and uh, this Carlos Acevedo. So obviously, as you can tell, the their Mason played the last two games. You know what I mean? Their backup goalkeeper.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean
to,
they've been resting guys, right, for this game.
correct. And then they have Javier Correa, which is an Argentinian that used to play in the Argentinian league. It's another striker that they have. So I mean,
I
they
know
have
him.
they have pretty good weapons, pretty good weapons. But I believe Orlando is a better team. Orlando still has a better team, a better star-studded in quotation marks squad than them. So I think it's going to be an interesting match. And if Orlando can go on top, I'm not afraid of Inter Miami. To be honest with you, just like you, John. Go ahead, man.
I mean, if you look back at of course, MLS wants to play you the highlight of Messi winning the game, but if you if you actually look at the rest of the highlights and that match, like Cruz Azul were all over them. Only Drake Callender saved them from not conceding 4 or 5. Cruz Azul had 18 shots on target, 4 were big chances, and 4 big chances missed. So, you know, I think it flattered Miami, that win. I think Cruz Azul clearly just couldn't finish and left it on the table, and then eventually, Messi gets the the winner at the last minute. And Cruz Azul are not doing very well in the league. They're like not playing very well at the moment either. So if a bottom of the league sort of Mexican team can do that against them, I think the Atlanta game for Miami will be a much bigger test. And so after tomorrow, we'll have a bit more of an idea of what this team with Messi looks like in it, and whether they can actually, do it against a good MLS side like Atlanta are.
Correct. Let's read some comments. It says Inter Miami might get Sergio Ramos. Oh my God, Jesus!
They're just poaching the Real players too now. They don't even care. They're going across lines.
Man, it's like us calling. We should call Kaká back. Come and join back.
Should we bring back Kaká and Nani?
And Nani,
bringing
yeah.
all the old boys back.
Bring Eddie and Winter from the Alps, from the Swiss Alps. Joshua Tall, exactly. Orlando City is about the future, not the past. That's right. Some random sports fan, with a little stuff face, little stuff. Was so an eventful game. Still don't know how that penalty for Houston was called. That was ridiculous. We already talked about it in the beginning of the show. It was not a penalty. It's disgraceful. But they're trying out players. But in other happy news, the Bear is back. Junior Urso was signed to a contract with a club option in 2024. It was announced today, making the Brazilian return to the City Beautiful, pending his P1 visa and ITC. Luis Musi said that he's excited to sign Junior again. I think it's a good signing. I think in the beginning of the season when things were rocky and people were like, Bumpy out, Bumpy in. That whole show, that Civil War, kind of like the Avengers, you know what I mean? People were saying the only people could agree was Junior should have never left, right? And so glad to have him back, but that means that if he has an option of 2024, that tells me that someone may go. So, because you know what I mean, Orlando is not the type of club who signs for half a season. Usually, if they sign you half a season, they extend you.
I mean, did we sign Felipe for more than 1 year? That's a good question.
Felipe, what was his last name?
If not, then I think that's what they'll do, and they'll just let Felipe go, and they'll renew Urso. It was interesting on Junior because we were talking about, Luis, that he had to leave, and he even talks about this in here, that he had to go back to Brazil. It's
a 1 year contract for Felipe Martins. So it's a 1 year contract with a club option of 2024.
So you got 2 options to extend either of them, and you're probably going to do Junior. I don't know. It depends at the end of the year. But what I was saying was he had to go to Brazil for his family, whatever reason that was. That's why we thought he wasn't coming back, right? We were like, he's in Brazil. Whatever happened with Cortiba, uh, his team, they let him go. So he was released in like early July, and then he's a free agent, and then he comes to training, and we think, oh, he's just here at training. But his situation in Brazil, whatever it was, must have been sorted out because now he's back. He seems happy to be back, and that's awesome news, but unexpected news. And I think it's good if you re-sign a guy like for the locker room. It's not going to throw off our vibe, right? It's like, oh, just Junior's back. There's no new player. It's just
Right.
Junior has returned. And what's interesting is we were talking about, we need a central attacking midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
And Oscar's quote was talking about all the different positions he can play. And one of them was talking about Junior playing central attacking midfielder. Plus, we know he can play the 8, right? We can bring him on for Wilder or Cesar when they're tired to play that role. So it's just good midfield
He
cover.
could even play the wing. Remember when he
played yeah.
Remember when he played? Remember when he played as right wing?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm not sure I want him on the wing. I got other options instead of that. But I think covering the 10 and the 8, he's just, like last game when Ojeda wasn't really doing so well, we could have brought him on to play the 10 and see if, how he was doing there. So he's still got to get his visa. I don't think we're going to see him on Saturday, right? I think it's going to be a little while yet before they sort out the paperwork. So maybe later in the Leagues Cup, potentially.
Yeah, it's going to be later on in the Leagues Cup. That's when he's going to debut. He's just pending his paperwork.
This is assuming we go through. I think there's one scenario where we can't go through in Leagues Cup, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, and I think we're going to go through. I think we're going to go through. I'm all in on this Leagues Cup. I have a feeling that it'd be great to go to Conca Champions again, and this is the path. I think it'd be fantastic. So I'm happy with Junior Russo being back. I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. He's going to be like he never left, and that's what players expressed also in post-press conference. That it was like he never left. He never left. So let's read some comments. Calling OCSC. I'd rather have Urso than Felipe. With that iconic Facu picture.
It's beautiful.
Oh man, that poster. Remember, whoever, if you guys have that poster, I guarantee you it's gonna sell like hotcakes on eBay, man. I'll buy it just to have it. Be honest with you. Joshua Tall, I'm so happy Junior Russo's back. Let's go. That's right. So, Junior Russo's back. Obviously, we talked about the MLS All-Star, and that was horrible. This was disastrous. This does not represent the league, in my opinion. That's just, I'll throw it out there. And then I want to give kudos to 1A1 Creative for the pictures. We also have the footage of the full press conference for Leagues Cup on our YouTube channel. This is our Instagram also. Make sure to follow us. This is for pictures from the crowd. If you find yourself, make sure you tag just write a comment and then we'll tag you. We even send you the picture. If you're this guy, we can send you this picture, for sure. So there you go. So it was a great game. And I also want to announce real quick, we have a new page for Facebook. It's this one right here. Right now, only 18 followers. I'll commend everybody to, if you like Facebook, to like it and follow it. We're live right here, right now. We're live on Facebook, but all of our pictures, all of our, my editorials, the links are going to be on this Facebook also for you guys to see. Any news, rumors that may occur, they're going to be on here. And also a brand new Facebook group is going to be created. And we're going to be having you guys join as well to that. So anything that you want to add, John, that I'm forgetting? I know the Pride lost, right?
Yep, the Pride lost. OCB once again defended Osceola Heritage Park from Chicago Fire. Jacqueline scored again. Juninho scored again. Jacqueline's almost on double figures. I think he is on double figures. He's got 10 now on the season. So congratulations to him. I think Moises Tablante, did you see that ball he put in for the
Yeah.
Jacqueline goal? Sorry, it wasn't Tablante. It was the guy's name I can never say. Almaguer. He put in a really nice ball for the Jacqueline header. And just, OCB continuing to do well. Shame for the Pride they didn't get the home win. 3-1 down to Gotham. So wasn't their best day, but they're obviously missing some players, and Gotham are missing some players as well.
Did
Everybody's
you
out.
see?
With the
Did you
World Cup.
see the goal from the Brazilian national team?
Yeah, I did.
It's phenomenal, and it was
That's some nice goals.
Adriana. He just missed Marta, and it would have been perfect. I mean, it was. We're getting a couple of those players, by the way.
Yeah, what's the
Adriano.
defensive midfielder? No, we signed one of them before they left.
Oh, Rafa.
Yeah,
And,
Rafa.
and you know who I watched last week in Copa Libertadores? Rafa Ramos. Remember Rafa Ramos?
Yeah, Rafa Ramos.
Rafa Ramos, man. I brought a little
Where's he
tear.
now?
Corinthians.
Well, because he went over to Portugal, right? And then that didn't work out.
Yeah, he played against
is Portuguese. We got him from the Portuguese B League, I think.
Yeah. He played against
Rafa Ramos.
He played against a Peruvian team, Universitario, and they beat them, and Rafa Ramos played the first half, and it reminded me of him just flowing on the wing in Orlando, man. I was like, I'll drop a little tear right here.
Oh, Rafa Ramos. So I got one more thing, Luis. Not that we haven't hated
is it
on
the Leagues Cup? The Leagues Cup?
Not that we haven't hated on Leagues Cup enough, but
there you go.
First of all, I just want to say why are we doing a tournament where there's 3 teams in a group? That makes no sense. So now, like we talked about, we're gonna know there's a scenario, Luis, where if tomorrow Houston lose to Santos, then Houston are out and we're through regardless of what happens in the Santos Laguna game. So we could play whoever we want in that game, in which case. The other thing is, Leagues Cup, we've talked about the refs, how bad they've been. Overall, it's just been very mediocre. And I think this Leagues Cup merchandise pretty much sums up how little effort I think they're putting into this. Let's put it that way. I mean, do you know how much that T-shirt is, Luis? Could you guess? How much would you pay for that T-shirt?
For that T-shirt?
Yeah.
With my Fanatics bucks.
For anybody listening, the Leagues Cup merchandise is literally just a gray T-shirt with the Leagues Cup logo on the back, and on the front it just says "I love soccer."
I would pay $10 for that T-shirt.
$10. I wouldn't even pay $10 for that. Do you know how much they want you to pay for that, Luis?
How much?
$45.
Get out. No way.
I mean, this is
what?
Least effort I've ever seen. Also, who wants to wear gray in the summer?
I can make that in
you'll be sweating through that, and you'll see all those sweat marks. I just and the cap and the
cap. This is a better
scarf,
cap. This is a better cap with the logo of my other podcast. Look at that. It's better than that.
It's just no effort. Terrible merchandising, Luis. And I say this as someone, if you didn't know, I used to run the merchandise department for Orlando City. So I know a thing or two about merchandise. And when I saw this, I was almost outraged at how
bland.
Just how bland. How do you think that is what people want? And why do you think that anybody's going to want to buy? It's insulting that they went, just do a gray T-shirt with a logo and the word "I love soccer" on it, and a 2-way scarf in black and white, and
not only that, the margin
some effort in. This is a brand new league, and this is what you serve up for your first piece of official merchandise. the World Cup has better merchandise, and that's only around every 4 years.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy
I
because
mean, this is yeah. Anyway, I just
it's
wanted
not
to
good.
rant about how terrible that is, and I encourage everybody not to buy this,
Yeah.
and don't blame the club because they have to sell it. They don't have a choice. The club, we do incredible things with merchandise, and this is exactly what you don't do. This is no
Exactly.
effort, zero care. We threw our logo on a T-shirt
No,
and
look,
tried to charge an exuberant amount of money for it, and it makes me
no,
upset.
but
It makes me very
how much
upset.
is a scarf, John?
I don't
Thank
know,
you.
Luis. I just saw $45 for the T-shirt and just
Get out.
laughed. And then let's see. The scarf is $35.
Get out. No way.
Someone just put in the comment, Mitchell, about the women's tank top.
The
Women's
women.
crop top. There you go. Selling a few weeks away was way worse. It was a half a shirt for $75. I
All I'm
mean,
saying is, all I'm saying is,
no.
and I know it's minimalistic logos and all that stuff, but what I'm saying is the margin that they're making. I mean, this T-shirt, if it's just gray, it's only one color. That T-shirt probably cost them $2 to make,
I mean, it's just. I want to
and
see
they're
what.
making 45.
Can I read the quality? It's a sport tide print. That's what they're printing it on. I'm gonna do my back math here and tell you how much that costs. A sport tie print is not a very high quality t-shirt. I think that cost them like $7,
So they're still making.
45. Are
Yeah,
you?
they're
Yeah,
making killer margins. They're making
it's
killer
it's
margins.
already on sale. It's all on sale.
Yeah,
Almost gone. I don't know who these people are who are buying this stuff. Shame
I
on you
don't
if you
know.
bought a Leagues Cup piece of merchandise. John does not approve.
I do not approve either. I like the scarf, but if it's $35, hell no.
Eh,
And I
it
usually
just sums
collect.
up
I
for me,
usually
Luis, exactly what's wrong with the Leagues Cup right there in one
Yeah,
photo.
incredible. Wow, it's insane. It's insane to know that, John. This is. Do you do a similar lineup versus Santos Laguna? You want
I
to do
think
the
that
lineup?
depends.
It's,
Yeah, we can do the lineup. I think, Luis, like I said, it depends entirely on whether it might be a game that doesn't matter. Like if tomorrow Santos beats Houston, Houston no way can qualify. We're going through 1 and 2. Again, pointing out the stupidity of having a 3-team group. It's not a group, it's just 3 teams.
but I
So,
have a feeling. I have a feeling that the boys want to face Inter.
yeah. So I think Oscar still might rotate a little bit
And
because
if
we
you
have
want to,
played the same lineup 3 times in a row.
and if you want to be honest, I think Leagues Cup wants us to face Inter, and I do
Probably.
believe and I do believe because it sells more, and also it will be a sold out stadium
Yeah.
before, and I think Orlando will make bread, so it's probably better for business to win against Santos and go comfortably. So I have a feeling that they may start almost the same thing. The only change I'll say is Dagger is going to start.
I could see Dagger starting because Kyle has looked
So
progressively more and more tired every
so
game.
let's do Dagger Dan.
But I don't know. Is I love that, Luis, but I don't even know if I can. I don't know if it's
No,
gonna happen.
I
It
look
might.
the way that Oscar talked about him in the in the post press conference.
Like he was happy with his. He
He
brought
was
him
very
on the
happy.
45 in the last game, so it seems
Yeah,
like he's trusting him more and more to play that right back role. But does he trust him from when? Oh, I guess he did because we were down and he put him on
yeah.
at
So
right
I
back.
mean, so he can. I mean, he can, and it's a position that, yes, it is an important position to have, but I mean, it will truly test him
Yeah,
against better
we're having him
competition.
start at right back is different from having him come on
Plus,
in
a
every
tired
game.
Kyle against Mexican wingers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Luis is going to be the same lineup with Mauricio back in.
Says Mikey Holiday will be back versus Santos. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put him in.
I don't. We haven't seen
I'll
much.
put him as Dagger Dan's backup and make Kyle rest this game. That's just
I
my
mean,
opinion.
he hasn't been on the bench yet, right? He's still not on the bench. I don't think he's been training, maybe a little bit, but I don't think he's quite there yet, sadly, for this game for Mikey. You know what, Luis? This would have been a nice game to bring Alex Freeman in. Once again, with this Mikey injury, we thought surely Kyle. I mean, Dagger has taken those minutes from Alex Freeman, which I'm fine with because I love Dagger, but Dagger is not necessarily the most defensive right back. Neither is Alex Freeman. We don't have another really truly defensive right back outside of Mikey Halliday and Kyle Smith. So I could see Smith starting this one and coming off at the 45 again for Dagger. I think he liked that last time.
Okay, so we'll put a Dagger on here, correct?
I'm down for it. I don't know if it's
Okay,
gonna
and
happen,
and
but I
I'll
love
I'll,
it.
I'll say here is gonna be AC
Yeah, AC
and
and
Robin.
Jensen and Santos. I think Luis, we're gonna see Mauricio back in for Ojeda. I don't think Ojeda did enough
Yes,
for
same
Oscar
here.
to be like, yes, you can stay in the starting.
Yeah, and then because they kept talking about, oh, there's one way Orlando City plays without Mauricio, and there's another way that plays with Mauricio, and then Oscar was saying, yeah, that's right, and even the players acknowledge that. So let's put
I, I
Mauricio.
I think after he had a good game last time. I think you rested him against Houston, probably intentionally, so that he could play him in this game
Yep, I agree.
because he sees like us that Mauricio struggles sometimes with his fitness at the moment.
Yeah, so I'll say here, Duncan.
You know who we haven't talked about in a while, Luis? Just to touch on him is Urshan Kara. We finally got some minutes, but
Yeah,
clearly is still not favored. I think Enrique would still be ahead of him, right? Duncan
he's
getting
not a
the
fan
start,
favorite either. He's not a fan
and
favorite either.
I think he doesn't change. He's not like a change of pace player. Like when we bring Enrique on, he runs at the
Yeah,
back line.
he almost
Whereas
scores a goal.
Kara, it begs the question: why do we have a DP that can't get on the field? Why do we have two DPs that can't get on the field if Ojeda's getting knocked out again, right? For Mauricio, that for me is something I think maybe in this window we should try and move Kara on if he's not going to be playing. I think it's a waste of assets.
Now, do you feel that Facundo, because he had his baby girl, may
Yeah,
take
I
the
think so.
week off, and we'll see Ojeda here?
No, I think Faku will play.
I have a feeling that he's gonna play too.
I think Oscar will say to him, "Hey, do you want the week off?" Because Oscar's nice like that. But I think Faku will say, "No, I want to play." You see the way he celebrated in front of the wall at the end of the game.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
I think for
fantastic.
him, he's loving his form at the moment. So he might want to say, "No, I just want to keep things rolling, and keep the good times going." So
So
that's
you got
awesome for
go.
him. There's all these pictures now, and he just posted on Twitter, Luis. I'll put it here so everybody can see um, pictures of him and the baby. There you
Let's
go.
see.
So big
Oh,
congratulations to him, and that's awesome. We love it. And future podcast follower there, Luis.
there you go. That's right. Look at that. I remember when my daughter was born.
You look so
Man,
happy. That's great.
yeah, he looks so happy.
That's
It's just so
awesome.
crazy that you could see that little human. Like and now my daughter's 5. Now she's like,
Yeah.
I don't like this, and I don't like. It was like it gives you attitude and stuff. It's crazy.
Well, we better hope. A lot of sometimes these players of ours, they have kids, and then they go through a bit
No,
of a
don't say.
slow.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't
say
say it.
that.
I didn't knock on wood, Luis.
There you go. There you go.
Faku with the child is just scoring as many goals as before.
So the starting lineup for us against Santos will be Galese up top. We have Dagger Den, Antonio Carlos, Robin Jensen, and Rafael Santos, all four in the back. Eh, Car- um, Cesar Araujo and Wilder Cartagena. And then at the 10, you got Mauricio Pereira. Left wing is going to be Ivan Angulo. Right wing, Facundo Torres. And right up top, Duncan McGuire. The Helen of the Heartland. And yes, we're going to work on getting Duncan on the show.
Ooh, big dunk.
Yeah, big
Hey,
Dunk.
I think that would be awesome. I'd love to talk to
Yeah,
him and get his insight on how this amazing journey has been.
that's right. I want to thank everyone that has been part of the pod today. If you're listening to the pod, thank you so much for your support. Drop us a like, subscribe to the channel. We are, like I said, we are live right now on Facebook. We're live as well on YouTube, on Twitter as well. We're live. Click on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, drop us a thumbs up. And also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This episode will be available. If you're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please answer the survey that we're going to be putting there today about what do you think, how the game's going to go against Santos. And also make sure that you're following us on our social media for more. We are
Yep.
almost 648 subscribers. No, and for people that participated in the giveaways,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, Scott. I want to give thanks to Scott as well for
Yes.
Scott. Yeah,
Shout
for
out to Scott Lloyd. He's awesome.
yeah. So there's gonna be more giveaways. So keep subscribing, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, and vamos Orlando, John. We'll see you on the
Vamos,
weekend.
Orlando.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.